Hi everyone, this is Tracy from WeCraft at Home. Thank you for joining me, and as you saw in the previous photos, I'm going to show you how to do a circular waterfall card. Some of these steps are quite difficult, so as always, if you feel like you don't want to do it, then the file will be available on my Facebook group page. It's WeCraft at Home. I'll leave the link in the details. So let's get started. I'm going to move all this over. Actually, let's just do that. I think we'll start with a circle. Now I need 3 circles. I'm going to put one to the side. We want one at 6 inches and one at 1.5 inches. And then we're going to put them together. Right. We need the little one at the front, so I am going to send the bigger one. So you'll know the little one's at the front if you click on it and it comes up. So now we're going to subtract. So now we've got like a donut. So the next thing to do are all the score lines you're going to need. Now I found the easiest way to do this. If you get one straight line, now I'm just going to move it over so that it goes over the circle. Don't worry too much about the height of it or anything, as long as it goes over both ends of the circle. And now we've got to multiply. So we've got to duplicate, grab both, duplicate, so that's 4, layer, duplicate, that's 8. So we're just going to duplicate again because we need 12. And then if you put them all together, put them so that they're the same height. You can use that one, or even through the middle, as long as they're all the same height. And then come down to distribute space here, and you want 0.10, and then press this. You see, you've got a line of them now. Now we are going to move in close to them. And what we need to do is, for each line, you need to go, the angle, you need to go up in 15 degrees. So the first one is 0. The next one we want at 15. The next one, go to angle 30, 45, and you just keep going with the rest. I'll keep doing it, but I'll speed it up. Okay, I'm going to go out a little bit. So that's all of them. The last one should be 165. And then you're just going to grab them all and centralize and through the middle. Like that. So you have this star shape like this. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm just going to grab them again, but I'm grabbing the circle as well. So we want to put everything through the middle, so we know they're all in the right place. While they're there, we are going to cut a piece out because we need 7 sections cut away. It doesn't matter where you do it. I'm just going to do it on the bottom. So pick one of them. Start outside the circle. I've got the path tool, and we are going to click and then go in the center so it's into the smaller circle. Then count 7 along. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's how many we need to cut out. So we know we need to go there, and then again to the outer circle, and then you just need to click round until you're back there and double click, and then you've got a little shape. There we go. And then you're going to hold shift and hold the circle and subtract. Don't get any of the lines. And there we go. That's the piece we need. So now all these lines here, we're going to grab them one by one and bring them to the edge of the small circle and the edge of the big circle. And you're going to do that with all these. Again, I'll speed it up. Okay, so what you're left with is just 4 lines. And what we're going to do, just to make it a bit easier, hold shift and just one more. There we go. So I've held shift and managed to get hold of all 4 lines. And then what we're going to do is duplicate them. This is the easiest way to do this. So what we're going to do is go closer in, and we're just going to get these lines. I don't want them ones. I just want 1, 2, 3 and 4. And we are just going to move them so they are... The reason I've got close is so that we can get it exact. When I done it, joined them together, it moved the circle, but you need the lines to stay where they are. So, there we go. They are exactly one on top of the other now. Move closer if you feel like it. Look, feel you need to, you can get a lot closer, and you can see they are exactly over each other. So I'm going to come out again, not too far, just so I can see all the lines. And now what we can do, you get one and you move it along to the opposite inner circle, bring that one down, and then you get this one and move it over to this side. It's the easiest way I could think of doing it. So each one has got 2 lines. So you pick one of the lines on the outside and take it over here. And you're still on the same line there, so you bring that one in. So that's your single line there. And then you need the other one to go to the opposite side there. And that is how it's done. There we go. So display, zoom to max size, and you can see they're now all in the right place. So we are now going to grab it all and then hold shift on your keyboard and release the square. So all we've got are the lines, and change them to score lines. And there is your circle. I am going to group that now, so Control G on your keypad or layer group. That's the main circle. Now you need the sections. No, it didn't come. Which are these? These sections will fit nicely onto the squares like that. So I've measured that the outside one should be 225. This one, yeah, 225. And then the inside one I done on offset, and I've done it at 0.8 inward, round because it's rounded corners. And that's how I've done the inner part of that. You don't necessarily need it. So say for instance you're using the 12 by 12s or anything that's double-sided, then you don't necessarily need an inner piece. I'm printing paper off, and my printer does not like card, so I'll be doing two two different sheets and sticking them onto a piece of card. That's why I've done it like that. For the, so these are the mats for the card. Let me just show you the card. Where have I put that? Oh. Now the cards I've done, I don't know why I've done 7 3/4. It's up to you if you do it at exactly 8 or 7 3/4. My envelope's at 8, so I usually tend to do my cards a 1/4 of an inch under. So you need, I used the first, not the sharp point square, the first rounded square. So that one. And what I've done, I'm going to just move it all out of the way so you can see it properly. If I duplicate, I'm going to put one up there. So for the card base, you need it, I'm going to do 7 3/4, or you can do it at 8 if you prefer. And you obviously need 2, because you need one that's got a score line. So you get it as near to the top of the curve as you can. You don't want to use too much. So you just do that and change it to a score line. And it's that simple. And then you want one without a score line. So that'll be the front. The one with the score line would be the back. And you, because when you've got something heavy on the front of the card, it's better to do it as a top fold. So it's stuck at the top rather than the side opening ones. So that's why I'm doing the score line at the top. So that's that. We're just going to put that, actually I'll delete that because I've already got it there. And for the first top, you want to do that one at 7.5, and then you will have a mat. Let's duplicate and go 7.25, like that. If you've done the card at 8, you go 7 3/4 and 7.5. That's how it works. Just go down in 1/4 inches. Okay, so now you want the circle, this one you want at 0.12. Tiny, tiny circle. And we need to duplicate that because we need 2. And what we're going to do, right, I'm just going to move that to the top so that I can get it out the way for a minute. So we've got all these, so you're going to grab the 2 mats and the 2 tiny circles and put them through center and middle. So you're centralizing them both ways. Then you let go. You want the small mat, hold shift and just get one, it's just one little circle and the mat. Let me just check, you want the circles above the mats, okay? So the little circles have got to be above the mats for this to work. Okay, so we grab one circle and one mat and subtract. Before we go anywhere else, I am just going to duplicate one more. And then pick the circle again and the larger mat and subtract again. And now your mats have the little holes in which we need because we need to use a brad or split pin, whatever you prefer to use it. And what will happen is then you will put that so the brad is in the middle of the circle. That's the way it's going to work. So that's the mats, that's the mechanism for the circle waterfall. We've done the pieces. Where's that? There it is. So there you need 16 of these because we're going to stick on each one as we go around. So you need 16. If you're doing like me, so the smaller pieces, I'm going to need 16 of each pattern. And because what I'm going to do is alternate the pattern, but I'll show you once we're over at the craft desk. The only piece left we've got to do now is this piece. For this, let's just move all this over. You are going to need, strangely, a love heart. And then any square, it doesn't matter which one. So the square, rectangle, whatever you want to call it, that has to be, let's untick maintain aspect ratio. The width has to be 1 and the height is 5. And then with the heart, you are just going to tick maintain aspect ratio again, and you are going to put that at 1. Now we are going to just move in a little bit closer. If you want to bring it down until the edges are equal each side. So it needs to come down a little bit more. Let's try that. And then if you get both and go through the center, I think that needs to come down just a little bit more. There we go, and weld. Okay, so now we've got our shape, as you can see it there. What we want to do is bring that onto the 0, 0. On the X and Y on the 0, 0. We need 2 of these little circles, you can see there. So layer, duplicate. Now I've written this down just to make sure I tell you right. So to get it in the perfect place, the first one, let's just send that to the back, it's in the way of the circles. The first one needs to be X 19 and Y 15. So there. And this one needs to be X 69. Oh, that's not bad. And Y 15. And then if you get both, they should be equal. You can check by seeing that they go through the middle like that. Now grab all 3 and subtract, and you've got your little holes there as well. I'll show you if I colour it. See? Now all we need to do to that, I'm going to go back and not colour it so that I can show you a bit better. Come out a little bit. We now need a score line down the middle. So path tool, two ways of doing this. You can check it's down the middle by checking your X is on 50. Jumped one there. And you can also just grab that and make sure it's lined down the middle like that. Now you want to change it to a score line. And there we go. Display, zoom to max size. That's all the parts you need. Let's delete that one. So you've got all the bits that you need. I mean, I've done it several times over. That is all you're going to need, and then obviously the small squares you're going to need bits, embellishments or sentiments, whatever it is, photos that you want to attach to the squares going round here. There's so many different things you can do with that. It is unreal. Photos, center. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it a Valentines. So there'll be messages and little Just, I'm using dies and stamps and all sorts that I've got just to do a little thing for Valentine's. So let's get over to the craft room. Okay, so I'm over at the craft table. Forgive the mess. I'm just trying to get all sorts of bits together. So I've done all different things, embellishments, sentiments and dies, and I still haven't filled up because I really wanted to get this done. So I have got my matte and base here with the hole in it. I used some of it to cut some of my squares out so that I wasn't wasting card. This is my card actual base, and like I said before, you want the so the score at the back, and you stick the glue above the score line and stick them together like that. I also made a smaller square to put on the inside. The mistake I did make was I didn't realise that I had cut the mat the same size as the actual card instead of leaving a border round. I'm not too worried about that right now, but just be aware that you're cutting it the same size. So there's the mechanism, and you want to score and burnish the scores so that they're folded really nicely both ways, because you're turning them both ways. So you want them to go both ways, and in the end that's going to go there. So first things we're going to do, I am not going to stick all that together just yet. We are going to stick these. So these are my squares, and like I said, that's the outer square. Because I was using papers on both sides, I done them a little bit smaller. If you're using double-sided 12 by 12s, then for instance like this one, then you don't need a smaller piece. So it's up to you which way round you do it. So first we're going to stick all these onto here. Now you don't stick on the first one. Because I'll just show you on here. That is going to be the bit that sticks to the card. So you don't want to stick on the first one. So tuck that one under. Now this is where you can do it all the same colour, so you could go round with the same pattern all the way round, or you can do alternate, so they go round like that. And then that side again, like that. So again, it's up to you. And I am going to start with this side, which is the same as this is the same pattern as on the front. So like I said, tuck the first one over and stick glue straight to the section, not to the card, because you don't know how much of the card you want glue on. And all we're going to do, if I do it this way, we're going to add it on like that. As you can see, I think that's the right way. Apologies. It's that way round. So what we're going to do is stick it like this. And then we are going to fold the next one over. knew I'd mess it up, which is why I had the next one ready. So this one I want the other way round. And I'm going to stick it like, because this one is a certain way, directional pattern, and then fold it over, and you're just going to keep doing that, alternating the patterns if you are using alternating patterns. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing that, and I'll just fast forward it so you can see how it comes on. Okay, so as you can see, that's the actual waterfall. Now, while I wait for that to just completely stay together well, let's just stick this together. So we have this, which is the, I should have shown you before I stuck it together, but I was trying to go in advance. So this is the weird heart-shaped thing we used, and when stuck together, this is what it makes. And it is the thing you're going to use to twirl it all round. So that's why I doubled it up, stuck together. This is a 300 GSM card, so it's really sturdy. And what we're going to do is stick all these three together. Now I chose 3 different types of pins, and I'm not sure which one I want to use. I might just go for the original gold. And all we're going to do for this is put a pin through all 3 of them. Obviously open it out. And then you're going to stick it to the back of the card. Try to avoid the area where the pin is going to go. And stick it on. Normally, like I said, you'd have a nice white edge, but for some reason I cut the mat the same as the card by mistake. Okay, so now we've got this. So we need to stick this down. And we're only sticking it using that. So you want to make sure that it's equal gap in there. Now I'm doing it by eye. You can measure it out if you like, but I am doing it by eye. So all you're doing is a bit of glue on there. Make sure it's in the right place you want it to be. That you've got, you know, same gap both sides. That looks about right to me. So I'm going to hold this down because this is the side I need to lift up. Just fold it under and push it down. Wait for a little bit. Make sure it dries nicely. If you actually pull it all back, you can push it down underneath. Okay, now the next thing is we want to stick this to the last square, and you want to try and do it so that the corner of this is going through the corner of that. That seems to be the safest place to put it. So I know that I need to stop about there. again. Okay. It's about like that. So now I'm going to go again. Make sure that's flat. And just by eye, just make sure, I know it's a rounded corner, but that way you know you've got it in the perfect spot. Okay, just a couple of minutes of leaving that to dry. I'm just going to go through a few of the things I've done. So I was trying to find all sorts of different things. With this one, although I haven't finished it, you can see I've done it in the kind of manly style colours. It's my son's 30th, so I'm just going to do a lot of photos in there of, you know, from when he was a baby until he was 30, with a big happy birthday on there. And it'll work like that, as you can see. That's what we're aiming for. The thing that I've made a mistake of there is I stuck down a bit where it doesn't allow the pin to spin. If I show you, you see in the last bit it doesn't spin anymore. That was my mistake on gluing, so I just wanted you to be aware of that. Now we'll try this one. Hopefully it's dry enough now. There we go. Okay, because you don't want it to go all the way. That's the last one you want. And then it goes all the way back. Now what you don't want is it coming off the edge. So the reason that I didn't stick these hearts on until last is because I wanted to make sure that they were going to not go over the card, or the card, you know, where it's going to sit. So when it goes in the envelope, I don't want that heart going over the card. So it'd be like that. And then we can chop it round. That's not too much, not too bad actually. So that will be the next bit. Now I was going to use my push-pull, you know, all the different things that you're going to need. And I thought I would stamp turn on it. And I'm going to use my VersaFine. And I think this is the one. I don't think I'm going to do it with an arrow. Oh, just dropped something. I don't know if anyone else does this, but when I am doing a little word, I tend to just stick it to the top of a cap or something like that, because it's easier than getting my whole stamping system out. It means you can't see it, but there we go. It's not great, but I'll make do with that. I can make it better afterwards if I want to. So I am just going to stick some glue there. Just want to make sure it's centered onto the stick. And then I am just going to, I done two so that I could do them back to back, just strengthen it a little bit. So this one will go on the other side of the stick. go. And that way they're both stuck together. If there's any bits you want to get rid of, you can just trim it off afterwards. And then all we're going to do is a little bit of white showing there that I'm just going to trim off. And you can use whatever you like there, but that just says so that people know they've got to turn it. There, that's better, that's more solid. And now all it is for you to decorate. Now, like I said, I've done this like Valentine's, so I have got a lot of stuff that is to do with Valentine's. So my first one is Always and Forever, which I was going to put on the front. And that is just a die, plain and simple. Actually, I'm going to do it on here. And then after that, I just bought loads of different things together. Again, it's up to you what you want to do. There's photos, there's embellishments. You know, I've got little love hearts. I've done vellum with some butterflies on that can just go on one of the sheets. Sentiment that says "You are my sunshine." Again, I've done that on vellum with gold embossing powder, that one. That one says "I love you more today than yesterday, but not as much as tomorrow." I thought that would go nice. And then, you know, glitter card that says love, and also the hands that do the love heart together. A little love heart that's got butterflies cut out, and the other half of it is the other half of the butterfly. Even got a pair of lips. So, as always, there's loads of different things you can use. I don't know what I've done with it, but oh, I wasn't sure whether I was going to use this. I love it. I got it as part of a present that my friend got me, but I thought I had the inside of that heart that I could put in the middle just to bring the colour in, but I'm not sure yet. Not sure about that one. And then I've got all these that my friend also bought me. Thought they might be nice embellishments. So there's so many different things you can do with it, but that is the basics of it. And it's just simply going round and round. 16 pictures in all that you could do. Like I said, I will be doing it with this one. I just don't think my son would appreciate me showing you photos of him. But it's the same concept. The squares are a little bit bigger on this one, but because of that, it got stuck on the last bit because the circle was not big enough to turn in. So that's why the circle's a bit bigger there. So this was my practice one. And there you go. I was very excited about this, and I hope you enjoy it too. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.